Hi everyone, I wanted to do a video that specifically focuses on converting areas, and we'll do volume later as well because it's a little bit trickier. You end up with units with power, square feet, square miles, and you have to be very careful and make sure that you actually convert square feet and not just feet. So this also happens to be one of my favorite random fact applications. So this is a real thing. Dennis Hope started a company, the Lunar Embassy Corporation, and claimed the moon, and also claims that he can legitimately sell land on the moon. So far, he sold 2.5 million acres of land on the moon to 3.7 million people. Our task is just to convert that 2.5 million acres to square miles. So we'll want to start with the 2,500,000 acres. And then again, if it helps you keep your fractions lined up, you can put that over 1. If you don't need that, that's fine with me as well. But I should see all the fractions set up for your conversions. So our goal is to get to square miles. Let's go check out our unit conversion sheet and see what we need. So we're not looking for time. We may need some of these imperial equivalencies at some point. But right now what we're looking for is acres. So we want to head to the second page, and acres is actually on our area list. So this is the only thing that we've got here. So 1 acre is about 4,050 square meters. All right, so when we build our fraction, we want to cancel acres, so I'll put that on the bottom, and I'll put the 4,050 square meters on the top. Okay, so first step complete. We've now got 2.5 million times 4,050 square meters. We now need to get from meters back into some sort of imperial unit length. So if we go back to our unit conversion sheet, really the only one that you have to work with is this top one right here. 1 meter is about 3.28 feet. Okay, so we want to cancel meters, so I'll put the 1 meter on the bottom and the 3.28 feet on the top. Now here's where we run into trouble. Right now, if we went for it, we could cancel the meters, but we would only cancel 1 meter on the top, 1 unit on the top, because meter squared is meters times meters. So you cancel 1, 1 would be left. That's not good enough. So the way that we deal with this is we need to take this entire thing and square it. Reminder on exponent rules, as long as everything in the fraction is attached by multiplication and division, which it is here, that actually means that you can just square all the individual pieces. So if we're squaring the whole fraction, we'll get a 3.28 squared square feet, and then we'll get a 1 squared square meters. And now we can actually cancel out the square meters. So now we've made it to feet. We're going for square miles. So I remember this one. I'll just write it down, but it is on that first page near the top on your unit conversion sheet. 1 foot. 1. So 5,280 feet is 1 mile, is more like it. So we're going to put the feet on the bottom and 1 mile on the top. And again, this is not going to be good enough. We need to cancel square feet. So we'll need to square the entire fraction. So this is what I'm thinking, square the entire fraction, which means you can square all of these individual pieces. The numerical values and the units get squared. So we really have to multiply by this conversion factor twice to cancel out square feet. All right, and that does it on the square feet. So I really do have square miles left over. Let's see if I can fit this in here. The calculation that we'll need to do is 2,500,000 times 4,050 times 3.28 squared. And that's going to be divided by 1 times 1 times 1 times 5,280 squared. All right, so let's plug that into Desmos and be very careful about the powers. see here. So I'm going to go scientific calculator, 2.5 million. I'm going to hit that division to make it a fraction bar. And that will need to get multiplied by 4,050 and then by 3.28 squared. And then that all gets divided by 5,280 squared. And I get about 3,907.28 square miles. So our answer is 3,907.28 square miles. All right, so quite a bit of land. A little extra question here. The surface area of the moon is about 14.6 million square miles. So we want to figure out what percentage of the moon he's actually quote unquote sold. So we need to take the 3,907.28 over 14,600,000 and calculate that. So let's go back into Desmos. So 3907.28 divided by 14,600,000. And it's little. We get 4 decimal places in there. We'll review scientific notation shortly as well. But for now, we can briefly look back at it. So that would be 0.0002. To make it a percent, we'd have to move that decimal place over twice. So we end up with about 0.027%. Very, very little. So all of that shenanigans happening, and we've not even sold like a percent, not even close to a percent of the surface of the moon. All right, so be very careful about your converting areas. You will have to square those conversion factors to make that work out.